Hey, y'all. What's going on? It's been a long time. Accountability. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Leo?
What's happening? What's going on, sis?
I'm doing pretty good this morning. Doing pretty good. Let me turn this up so I can hear you a little better. So, I mean, it's been so long. I feel like we got to reintroduce ourselves, It's me, it's your girl, Miracle Sims with God, Sex, and Love, and none other than Mr. Leo of Anointed Touch, Health, Fitness, and Beauty. Yes, it's been a while, man.
Yeah, right. It's good to be back. Took a little break. Now we're coming back. I think the holidays was coming, so that kind of gave me one. But I'm excited to be back to start it out. I think we got some new good stuff, good things planned and thought and ideas and stuff. So I think it'll be really good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, last time we talked, we featured Miss Christie, right? And shared some of her journey. She didn't do the weekly check-ins, but how would you say that was experience was and whatnot?
Oh, no, that was good. She really did good. When she got finished, she was down 15 pounds, and
Mm,
she was doing her thing, eating, working out with her. I think it really helped her get motivated. She stay in touch with me. She kind of fell off a little bit because she had some, family things going on, personal things. Sometimes life happens. But
yeah.
she just hit me like 3 days ago and be like, I'm on it. I'm back on it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and everything. So she's doing really well, and I think she benefited from that to know, you every day is not going to be your greatest. You're not always going to be ready to perform, but when you have that in you and you have that desire, you'll push through and it'll come back. It'll come back. Just keep going.
Yeah. That's the truth. That's the truth. I know it's very interesting that we're doing this now, right? Because those that follow me and listen to me with the daily inspiration of the juice, I usually keep giving my updates of what I got going on and whatnot. And so I did inform you last week when we finally did confirm for today about where I was on my journey.
Right.
And I guess unfortunately to say, I mean, for whatever reason, yesterday I did pick it back up. So for whatever reason, last week I took a break. Like I didn't do my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then this week I didn't do it either. But I had done it ever since you had incorporated it back months ago. So I think maybe with the exception of like my birthday weekend, that was probably the only time that I didn't do the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday routine, whatever routine you put me on or whatever. I mean, since then or since I began with you, I've been doing like at least 3 different types of the workouts and whatnot. So I mean, I don't know if I was just getting bored with this current one that I was doing. I don't know. But for whatever reason, last week I didn't push through to do it last week, and then I did end up doing it yesterday. But I was kind of frustrated yesterday because I mean, I don't know if you probably ain't noticed, but let's go ahead and call out in the room. I did it on the juice as well. Little man lost my engagement ring last night. He takes it upon himself to go and grab it while I was taking the shower. And then when I tell him to give it back, he gives me 2 out of the 3 rings that I usually wear. And that's the one that's missing. And so obviously that's where my mind was last night. And not to blame him, but I'm just telling y'all what happened. So So yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know. I don't know. It's not that I don't think I'm giving up on it or anything like that, but I didn't do it last week and then I didn't start it back up this week. So I don't know.
Well,
But
what
that's where
you
I'm at. That's where I'm at. I mean,
is first take a step back and really take a self, in the Bible say examine your heart. So you need to examine why you feel like that. You don't want to keep saying, well, maybe this, maybe no, no, no. You know why. Why do you feel that way? Is it because of lack of motivation? Sometimes that happens. Because remember a long time ago, I told you motivation gets you started. It's discipline that keeps you going. And sometimes, think about it. Let's take working out of it. You love your husband and your child to death, but that don't mean every day you feel like coming home, cooking, cleaning, doing all that stuff. Some days you just don't want to do it. But does that mean you less love them? No. Just some of them days you don't want to be disciplined. You don't feel like doing it. You need That's why when you work out, in my opinion, I always have my clients after 4 months or so take a whole week off. Take a week off, some change off, don't do nothing at all. You've taken weeks off. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, because you took vacation, if I'm not mistaken,
no,
right?
I did take that one vacation, but outside of that, I didn't. So that's why I was like, well, maybe I just did it automatically. Because like last week was the first time that I didn't do the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
And it felt weird, but at the same time, I felt okay because I was like, something about it was like, maybe I'm just resting this week or something. You know what I mean? Because usually I would go ahead and do it, like push myself to do it. Even if I did it late in the evening or whatever, I would just push myself to do it. But last week, for some reason, I didn't. And then, like I said, I didn't do it yesterday. I had the intention to do it yesterday, but I didn't do it yesterday. And I wasn't sure about that, but then I'm like, well, if that's something you naturally do, so I don't know if that was
Rest is
a
important.
divine thing where it's like take this week off. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, you could have.
I
I
have
mean,
been doing it ever since.
you started. So you want to
Yeah.
take a rest, and that's just my opinion. Because, like, one, it allows your body kind of recuperate from the rigorous workout that you've done, and it allows you to kind of revamp. It's kind of like when you work when you have vacation days for a reason because you need a break from the rigorous days of work to allow yourself to recoup and rejuvenate and then get back to it. Same way with working out. You need time to allow yourself to kind of recoup, rejuvenate, get off the strict manner of eating this and that kind of, and then let your hormones get back to normal. And then because when you're in a deficit, your hormones change. So when you allow them to kind of get back to normal, yourself get back to normal, allow your mind to get rejuvenated instead and not be in such a, and then you kind of restart again. Some people do a week, some people do 10 days, just whatever need. You just make sure kind of like work. Eventually you got to go back to work because you got goals in hand, you got bills in hand, stuff like that. Well, it's the same thing. You have to make it a priority. So it's nothing wrong with taking a break. You probably needed it. That's what your mind, your body, and stuff was saying. We just need a break. We need a break. We need a week or even 10 days. I don't know, whatever you feel, and then get back to it. You may feel better once you go back. You may feel a little sore, but you may feel better and be like, yeah, I feel a lot better. I feel like more, rejuvenated, or whatever. Because it's one thing to work out when you're tired, but it's another thing when you're just exhausted physically and
Yeah.
mentally. Them two different things. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. And I know you mentioned, I mean, well, we talked about breaks and stuff earlier. That was the thing that you incorporated into my routine from the beginning was me taking some days to rest. Like that was my Tuesday and Thursday. However, I would say like when you mentioned vacations and things like that, like, people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? People don't too much take vacations and stuff. So a lot of times maybe we are exhausted. We just going, going, going. Like when you think about that, I want to say vacation was what, August, and we in May now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And but some people just, like who people might not know when their election was. They were like, oh, it was a few years ago. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
and
guess in
you're
every
right.
aspect what you just
You're
said is
right.
very
I
important.
think you're right about that too. That's good that you bring that up because some people don't take vacation. Now, that's
Mhm.
why mental health is so important nowadays too, because
Exactly.
people don't take time out for mental health. And that includes
Mhm.
working out. That includes. Let me tell you something. You, your thing is called God, sex, and love, right? So obviously God is first. So if God is first, you knew He took time out for Himself. Jesus, when
Yep.
he needed to get away, he took time out and went to your window. Sometimes you have to go to your wilderness and take time out and turn the music down and kind of let things and then get back to normal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Vacations is vacation, not even just vacation, just rest, period. Rest is important. And I believe that's one of the most underutilized tools because we're such a go, go, go and want results right now. We want instant satisfaction. We go, 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 go. And until the body just says, I can't do it no more. I just absolutely can't do it no more. But we'll just push through, push through, push through when you need that time away because it allows you to think straight. It allows you to feel better. It allows you to get back on track in the things that you're supposed to, especially if you're what's the word I'm looking for? Dedicated in the way that you need to be. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that makes me think because I know I'm looking real tired right now, y'all. I know I am, but I guess the thing is, it's like not say I'm pushing through to do this today, but I did push through to wake up yeah, to do it. Because when the alarm went off, I was like, oh my god, because y'all know I get up in the morning, I do the juice and all that stuff. So my sleep thing is real weird. Like our whole household, we kind of sleep so weird because I get up so early to record, and then I could try to go back to sleep after I get done, but half the time I don't, and then little man will wake up, and you know what I mean. And so we all are on these weird schedules in regards to sleep and whatnot. And yeah, man, I guess I've been thinking to myself, and I know we were going to talk about some specific things in regards to um today and whatnot, and I don't know if this is a segue into it, but when I think about my why, right? When I think about like why I even started to do this for myself, or then when we started communicating, why I started to, the things with you or whatever was, I think again we've already established it. I'm not trying to reach a goal, right?
Right.
I'm not trying to be like, oh, I want to be the size I was before I got pregnant or nothing like that. Like for me, I mean, I was okay with my body changing and I guess becoming more mature or whatever the case is because I always was small. I'm always been small throughout my life. So that wasn't like the motivation. It was more so like, all right, I think I need to incorporate some routines. I see myself not doing anything at all. So I went from not doing anything to overworking myself by for like trying to do something every day. And then that's when you came in to be like, all right, and help me with that. And so now, I was building this routine with the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I appreciated and enjoyed that. I appreciated those days off and I appreciated those days and I pushed through on those days to go ahead and do it. Because I knew that I have a break tomorrow. So push through the day, you break tomorrow, and then you're gonna push through on Friday. And so that's why I didn't have any issue with keeping the routine going. And even though I feel like maybe over the past month or so, I found myself pushing myself to go ahead and do the workouts versus like before I kind of just was like, okay, let me go ahead and do it, X, Y, and Z. But I will say over the past month or so, I just was like, nah, get on up, go ahead and do it. And it was like that up until last week. And then that's when I just was like, I maybe I just didn't have that push then. Now the funny thing was, because I know you was trying to get me to eat 3 meals a day and all of this type of stuff. And so the funny thing was last week when I had the choice to either eat again or work, and it wasn't that I couldn't do both, but in my mind I just was like, I'm gonna just eat again, whatever the case. I'm not, like, and then maybe I have the energy to work out afterwards. And then obviously when you eat something, you won't necessarily have the energy. You know what I mean? That's kind of what happened last week or whatever for me. But yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know if that's gonna get us into the topics and
Yeah,
whatnot.
I mean,
But
what you're saying is kind of good because you're saying you just found yourself pushed through it. Well, when we talk biblically, the Bible said that you're going to have struggles, and
mm,
and see, people just think of struggles, I guess, in the aspect of just life struggles in every part of your time. You're going to have times where you're going to feel you're going to have struggles where you don't feel like you want to do certain things, or it feels hard, or it's tough, or you dealing with something, or whatever the case may be.
mm,
Right now, that was your season. This is your season, probably for it. Look at it that
true.
way. Maybe this is a season where, okay, now that you're trying to ramp it up a little bit, here he come and say, well, what's the point? You've already done 4 months. You can go ahead and chill out. You know, You can
Mm,
stop. You don't need to. You got to remember,
mm,
don't think it's so small that the devil won't come and try to manipulate you from doing it. If it's anything that you're trying to do that's in God's view, he hates it. So you better prepare. He gonna attack you. Whether it's you
mm,
trying to eat healthy, whatever it is, he do not want you on that side. See, he ain't gonna mess with you while you his favorite child when you're doing when you're not doing God's work. You understand? Because you on his
mhm,
side. That's how he feels anyway. But now that you're trying to do it, it's a part. Struggle is a part of life. Once we can understand that, then we
mhm,
can begin to equip ourselves to handle struggle. But
mm,
more we just sit and struggle and try to wow, well, first of all, that's what he said. I mean, he did. Nobody's not going to have struggles. I don't care what type of part of your life that's a part of life. Now the key is this: how do you go about dealing with the struggle? Well, own it. Own it. That's one of the things that I think I sent you. You got to own it. You see, because you already see. The first thing is what I said. You got to see the change. How do you see the change? So you see the change. Now you got to own it. You see what I'm saying? Don't let the devil own what you've already seen. Don't let
mhm,
him take it away from you and make you see something different. See, he'll do you like he did Christ, take you on top of the mountain and say, I'm gonna give you all of this right here. I can give you this. Wait a minute, I'm Christ. How you gonna give me the world? Well, Christ,
mm,
you are Christ. How he gonna give you something? He ain't gonna give
mm.
you nothing but heartache and pain and suffer, right?
That's right.
So
Right.
it all starts here. Once you can own it here and captivate those thoughts and capture those thoughts, then you could begin to take those thoughts, put them in a box, and begin to focus on what your main journey is. But that don't mean it's gonna be easy. Hell, it's gonna be some stop signs. It's gonna be some street, some bumps. You might even get some tickets along the way. But that don't mean you stop driving. You just
Mhm.
follow the law. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. Because again, like I said, I definitely what I appreciate about you and the routine and everything like that is that with keeping up with the photos, which I know I haven't done the photos in so long, so who knows what I'm looking right now. But um, like when I was doing the photos, I did see the changes. We did see like what it looked like when I don't think I still have them on here to show everyone where I was, however long ago that was. I probably was supposed to been did a. I probably took it off the thing
So
here, um but yeah, I appreciated being able to see the progress and whatnot. I definitely felt it because I told y'all before. I remember when my back was touching, and now I don't feel it touching no more. And all of that. So yeah, I remember. And everything like that. And so there was a lot of different things to keep me motivated or and whatnot. And and I was glad again when we did the gift to give it out to somebody else and let them start their journey and everything and the other gifts that came along with it. So yeah, like I said, and now here we are. Even though again, I personally feel like maybe I fell off just a little bit just because I know that I was doing it. I was doing it like very how they diligently and whatnot, just as diligently as I was doing the juice and all this other stuff. I was doing that. It was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It just like I said for the last week I didn't, and then I didn't start it back up for this week.
okay,
Yesterday.
so now that you know you fell off, that's the good thing though. You're owning it. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making
Yeah.
excuses. You're not saying, well, then listen, you just fell off. Period. All right. Now
Mm-hmm.
what you have to do is say, cool, so what you gonna do? Solve it.
Yeah.
Solve it and then do it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Put your plan together. You just said, okay, now what you have to do is say, now that you own it and you own the issue, now how are you gonna solve it? Go back and look at some of the things. It's like, you know how people are emotional eaters? What are your triggers?
Mm-hmm.
What are causing you that? Let's write them down. Let's
Mm-hmm.
journal. Let's see what causes you to keep you from wanting to do it. Now, once you can figure out what those things are, how do you combat those things? Now that you know how to combat those things, now let's put it in work and do what we need to do. Does that mean we gotta schedule ourselves intentionally? Everything you gotta remember, everything we do, whether it's for Christ, especially for Christ and God, and for ourselves and for our family and for your work. I don't care how tired you are. December was telling me the other day, she looks at your stuff and she said, man, the one thing I love about Miracle, she show up every day. You see her posting and doing her work every day. She just said it's 3 days ago, Miracle. Now,
Wow.
here's the key. You showing up for that. What are you doing for that you need to transfer and apply to this? Do you see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So if that
Yeah.
means like you got for that, figure out a schedule, be intentional about it, and say, no matter what, this is what it's kind of like how you are with God. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what come along, you gonna find time to spend time with him because it's intentional, right? So you
Yeah.
set aside in your schedule every morning. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that's going to sway you from doing that every morning. Yeah, sometimes let's be real, we fall off sometimes,
Yeah.
but for the
Yeah.
most part, you this is your schedule. Well, maybe you need to go back and revamp and say, okay, things has changed. Life happens. Things has
Mm-hmm.
changed. So now that I'm owning it, do I need to change my time? Do I need to go from morning to evening? Because maybe in the morning it used to work for me, but maybe I need to go, or maybe I need to go mid-afternoon. Like for me, I go work out at 12. That works better for me. You right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to see, okay, what are the most three? I went and bought a whole new task book. What's the three most important things I need to do? Then what are the other tasks? So I knock out the three important things. Then I write down in the journal, how was today? Did I accomplish? Why didn't I? So I can take it to the next day what I need to do. Maybe there's little things that you could do. You do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Your fitness is like your business. You have to take your fitness and treat it like it's a business and say, I'm coming to do work, so I'm gonna put focus into it now. You don't have to be as detailed and be as serious. Some people, as a bodybuilder, but I would say that your health, because you're trying to align your health with Christ and with God, then you want to take it as serious as enough because you're glorifying Him. Does that make sense? So you just figure out what works for Miracle. Take tad bits from me, even that you see other things, but then put it in a way that works for you. Take the ideas and test it. When
Mm-hmm.
you doing this setup, you do a lot of testing. Make sure sound is good. Make this right. Make sure that we'll test it. And if it don't work, okay, try something different until you find what works for you. Find a routine work for you. Own it, solve it, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get what has me thinking like because like do I do differently versus when I would not, and I noticed once I started doing with you, I stopped doing because I used to do the workouts in the morning before I did the gym like that. But I think I did do it once you came on board. I
You
didn't
echoing,
do
man.
those.
You
I'm sorry.
echoing,
I'm sorry.
man. You echoing.
Oh, why are we on live here on? I go live every day with someone else in a while.
You got to
How's
understand. I'm gonna say that we're not gonna let that devil come in and try to keep it. Somebody gonna
exactly
hear.
is is
We're not gonna give up. Go ahead. You can echo. We just keep
yeah.
talking. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so basically I was saying that before you came on board, I was doing workouts in the morning. I think once you put me on the workouts that you had me doing, I think maybe because they were more strict, more time consuming, they stopped doing those and I started doing them in the evenings and stuff like that, just because of the time frame that I had between four and when I get up and the time to get ready to do that and whatnot. I think that's why I started doing evenings mentally. What was going on, and then I was doing evenings, and I don't know. I guess I just saw it getting like maybe I was 7 sometimes they then doing it. I was doing it times and stuff like that. Um, yeah. I mean, obviously this is as well. Like sometimes little man would do it with me. Like he would actually do it, right? And then there's other times where he just running around getting in the fight, and things like that. Where I had to be like, okay, shoot, I gotta go and I gotta do this, and stuff. So I mean, different factors and things like that. I will say, I will pat myself on the back for pushing through the amount of time that I did push through
That's
in
right.
regards to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was like really gung ho. I would say that's why I can keep up with it. Like I say, that weekend that I took for my birthday, no, I wasn't working out then. And then last week. That's the only times that I can say that I did Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You're supposed to do. Give
So
yourself credit.
that's huge. That's
I
huge.
mean, give yourself credit because you don't want to sit there and beat yourself up to the point where you don't even, like I said, see it. Remember in the beginning, see it. You see
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, it may be tough now, but let's remember where you came from now.
Yeah.
So don't allow the devil to get in your head and start causing all types of doubt and making you forget where you came from. Okay, yeah, you might be struggling a little bit, but it's nowhere near. You may not be where you want to be, but you're definitely not where you used to be. So you want to keep a positive aspect and say, you know what, I am proud of myself, and give God glory and say, man, I thank you for just letting me be here, and even to be able to communicate and speak it out loud and talk, and say, man, look, I'm struggling. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because that's standing on truth. I'm
Mm-hmm.
struggling. I'm being truthful right now. And so how do I get it together? Well, with my faith, with my word, and with the strength that he provided in me, because he said he is in me is stronger than he is in the world. Right? So you just keep pushing forward and keep focusing on what is rather than what's not. You can't get that back. It's over. Forget it. You lost them days. So what? Look, chalk them up as a rest days. Just chalk it up as okay. I took time off and probably needed time. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Especially, so now okay, maybe you sit down and write up a schedule and say, okay, when do I actually want to start? What day do I actually want to start? And the other thing I would say, Miracle, is, Matthew chapter 6, I can't remember 33, 34, one of them. I can't remember. He says, you focus on today because tomorrow has its own problems.
Yeah.
Take it one day at a time. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
going to start that day, don't jump ahead. Just focus on starting that day, getting through that day, then come up with what you want to do for the next day. Don't jump ahead. Just enjoy and sometimes get mad the journey. Just follow the journey. You know what I mean? We can't get we in the middle of you wrote a book, you've started your beginning. We in the body now. You can't just jump from the beginning and not explain the conclusion. We in the
Mm-hmm.
body trying to get to the conclusion. So just take it one day at a time. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And and I also was sitting here thinking that, at the end of the day, I mean, truly happy because the opposite of what I would have been like, it would have been a very short conversation, for example, if I didn't if I didn't take that break. Like, I've been doing it since we've been talking. Ain't nothing to say, you know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
so we did all this communication to come back and drop this back off and everything like that. I mean, again, this does you struggle. This does show, that it's not always peaches and cream. It's not always, you know, you win. There, there's some losses along the way. There's some things to learn from, and like you said, there's things to do so too. So
Yeah,
that encourages as well to see that I'm human. I'm human. I say it all the time on the juice. I'm human too. I'm not
absolutely.
saying I'm perfect. I'm not trying to say that I do everything right or anything. I think this accountability else have like it's proof that I'm just a human or one person trying to maintain a fitness journey, just like many trying to start. You know what I mean? And because I feel like a lot of times when you hear about fitness people, and I'm not trying to say that I'm a guru, like you the guru, like I'm just trying to do some working out. But I think a lot of times when you see line talking about fitness, what they seem perfect. They seem like they always doing it. They kill time. They eat all the time. They working out all the time. You know what I mean? And they ripped and all this stuff. And so I think with accountability, seeing a lot of ups and downs. I didn't like, and hopefully people can relate to that and
See,
appreciate.
that's the thing. That's a part. This is why I apply godly principles to it, because as Paul said, he had to learn to be content. That don't
Mm-hmm.
listen to the key word learned. It wasn't automatic. It wasn't by nature. He practiced that to be content, right? And then not only that, when we as Christians, you got some, and I'm not trying to be mean or be rude, but you got some who just are so sanctified that they feel like they don't do nothing. They'll tear you down, but forget where they came from, right? But that's not what God wants us to do. He wants to show. I got a shirt that says, I work out in faith so my testimony don't become weak, right? So what he's trying to say is he wants us to be a testimony so we could show that our faith in him is real. You know what I mean? That we struggle too. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm probably the number one jacked up joker in the world. You know what I mean? And trying to get it right. That's what my pastor say. Hey, I'm probably vice president of the team. You know what I mean? But that shows vulnerability and it allows people to see, you know what? It's not that you make excuses for your mess up, but it's okay because God's grace and love is bigger than our mess. So we can keep going and keep fighting and keep what he's saying, Matthew 7, keep knocking, keep seeking, keep pursuing. You see what I'm saying? Because again, he is in us is stronger than he is in the world. And when we can align those things in our fitness, in our food, in our faith, you'll start seeing it coming together because now we'll understand that we're stewards of everything that we have and God is the owner. And when we can do that, then our whole reason of doing this will change. And we'll understand we ain't supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to be perfected through him, not through us. So that means we ain't perfect. He perfect, not us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up. You just keep on going, keep pushing, take it one day at a time. Also one of the things I said to quit, one of the things you do when you equip yourself is you surround yourself with people who may not even be doing fitness, but who have a same mindset, encouraging, empowering, stuff like because that stuff matters, man. Who's in the word, who can feed you some word, who can, not just give you the as you like as your sweets and stuff, give you some veggies, give you some protein that's gonna help build your bones and stuff. Because as the Bible say, we can't eat milk or we can't stay on milk because we won't develop. We got to be able to develop, and that's possible. You surround yourself with people like when me and you talk, or you and your other, like the other people that I met on there, your mom, stuff. You surround yourself with people who's going to pour into you, so then you can pour out to others, and you can drink that and keep going. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. It's so funny you said that, and I know we're probably gonna wrap on and whatnot. But I was talking about community today on the juice, so that's what you said that. But yeah, it's very important. Who we're signing with and everything like that. And that did cross my mind as well. I was like, well, maybe I need to rate other people because right now I do my workout stuff alone. You know what I mean? The motivation of incorporating someone else's help, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it's like, so we'll see about that, and I do have some things to think about per this conversation, and everything like that. But I'm not sure if we hit all the points that you wanted to talk about today.
I think
But
we
I
did
mean,
hit it in the way that we needed to. We did hit them all. We just didn't do it in a way that it may not have been in order. It may not have been in order, but
yeah.
your testimony can help others, and I hope people understood what I was trying to say and understood what you were saying, because that's what we want to do in this accountability. Me and Miracle was talking, and we came up with a plan that we want to try to bring substance to this, so what to help people. So we can ask. I know there's certain things people ask about. We can ask your community what is it that they would want to hear. And listen, ask them. And I think this is one of the things to hear, that you don't have to be perfect, and that you will fall off sometimes. You're not gonna feel like doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, you're just not. And but there's always another day. I don't never say God gave me a second chance. No, he gave me another chance and another chance and another chance. So every time you wake up, you have another chance to get started. You know what I mean? And until God calls you home, you keep taking those chances and doing what you need to do, and just focus one day at a time. So I think we did, and I think what we talked about was substance today, in my opinion, anyway. And I think
I
once
mean,
we
it always is. In
yeah,
my opinion, because you always dropping the gems and the jewels, you know what I'm saying? So I think every episode of accountability has been, beneficial to me, and I hope that people will have insights and what this counts as season 2, which is but again, to God be the glory that doing this, we're keeping it going, and look out for us. But we go. I definitely have you a shout out, right? Because we know you out here killing it, doing big things. So obviously you got anointed stash fb.com to check out this gentleman and his services. That man, look, congratulations on the new business. Yeah,
Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Come
Appreciate it.
through. Yeah, talk
Yeah.
to us about that before we go, because we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, that's the meal prep and catering business that I changed my whole aspect from from faith and fitness to faith, fitness, and food because it all intertwines. So if we can be like Daniel and try to eat more healthy and not defile ourselves and become more fit spiritually through our fitness, through our food, then we can not only just build our physical muscles, but we'll build our spiritual muscles. We'll build our spiritual mind. We'll build our the whole entire spiritual aspect. Because I believe it all intertwines together. So I just decided I prayed and found a couple of people that are in it with me that does the cooking and stuff, and I know it's nothing gonna happen right off time. I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking to be a blessing to others and try to help people. And people been coming along slowly but surely, and I thank God and I appreciate your support because I saw it on when you hit me on the IG, and it's been good to support people buying, and it's like wow, you just never know, and especially when you try to walk, as we just said, not as perfect in Christ, but just walk in Christ. You know what I mean? Allow Him to do the walking and the carrying. So I appreciate that very much. So
I mean, my goodness, is the enemy mad today? What's happening, man?
he is, he is,
Are we hitting some
he
points today? What is
is, he
going on?
is. I told you he don't want to hear about no intertwining food and you trying to be perfect. He don't want to hear that. I'm trying to tell you, he trying to tear it down. But it's all right. It's all right.
Don't worry about it though. Yeah. So I hope that you kept going with your
Yeah,
point.
I did. I did. So it's there. It's there.
Yeah. Well, I'll go back and look and see what you said when we're going to see. But yeah, I definitely wanted to celebrate that. Which I went to the website. I was like, well, I guess they're not shipping things out. So
We're trying to work. We're trying to work on that now. We're trying to figure out how to package and learn because I
yeah.
got family in St. Louis that hit me and was like, "Can you ship?" I got someone in Hagerstown and someone in Alabama that's seen it,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Wow, I wasn't expecting that." And so now I'm trying to figure out how do we package and ship. So I'm studying that. So with the team to get it together so we can start shipping because Christ didn't do His work in one state or
Mm-hmm.
one place. He traveled. So if I can reach other people and help them with their health, fitness, and that's what I'm gonna do.
So, like I said, I sure went on the website. I was like, well, it looks like it's going pickup. So I guess I can't. I
Yeah,
can't get
yeah,
the.
but we're working on it. We're working on it. It's coming. I'm gonna make the announce. Hopefully, we'll make the announcement soon. For we just had to take it one thing at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely happy. Y'all are doing y'all thing too with Anointed Touch. I'm always seeing y'all some series and whatnot as well. Working out, the food and all that good stuff. I'm glad to hear about your expansion.
Yeah.
And man, yeah, man, to God be the glory. Thank you for being the one diligent enough to be like, look, man, we need to come back. We need to come back with accountability and whatnot. So, he's the one of the main reasons why we back, on today, the way we are. And so, yeah, though, man, I appreciate
Real quick,
it.
the reason why I was so diligent is because I remember. I think I told you this a long time ago. I had got frustrated with everything, and I wanted to kind of stop. And my dad was like, who you met on the podcast. I mean, on our podcast, he was like, "Nah, you keep doing. Somebody will hear you."
Mm-hmm.
So when we were doing accountability, we may not got a million views, but there were people that was hearing us
Yeah,
because Christy, you had a couple of people talking to you,
yeah,
gave
yeah.
people who wanted to. So that let me know, okay, it's not in vain. Where two or three are gathered in His name, He will be in the midst.
Come
So
on.
that's why I was like, we could keep doing it.
Yeah,
We keep doing. Let him. All we supposed to do is plant the seed. Let him be the bird catcher. you know, and we and everything else, we abide in him, everything else is sprout. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly, exactly. Well, hey, I mean, again, I believe in those divine connections. I'm glad that we, met. I'm glad that we've been working together and whatnot. I had no problem because honestly, again, holding me accountable, right? Holding me accountable. Maybe that's going to be one of those factors that get me back where I can be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And things like that. And let's see how we can you know, not only keep that going. I would love to give more gifts. I mean, that was
Oh
amazing.
yeah,
I appreciate
yeah. I was thinking
you
about that too. Yeah,
to
absolutely.
be able to give more because we did have at least maybe like 10 to 13 people submit to try to get that,
Yeah,
and because you never know who's gonna do, so that was
you
really cool
know.
to give that, and I felt like it was deserving of Chrissy as well. Y'all heard her share her testimony of like why she submitted and stuff like that, and so again, to God be the glory, man. I feel like a lot of this whole thing with GSL has just been such a blessing, and I love that this is incorporated in there because again, if nothing else, it shows like how to incorporate God in every aspect of your life. Like, yeah, I talk about God, sex, love. I talk about everything. We talk about everything, but I love that we have this segment here that talks about fitness and faith and food, and whatnot because again, this is probably one of the main things people not thinking about when they might think about with food only because they say they grace before they eat, but outside of that,
Yeah, yeah.
people not really necessarily thinking about that. Or
They're
and when
not. They're not. They
yeah,
forget that scripture. That's one. That's the main scripture for the meals, where we use 1 Corinthians 10:31, where he says, "Whatever you eat or drink, you do it for the glory of God."
mm,
Whatever we eat or drink, so we have to remember that what we're doing is for the. See, it says in 1 Corinthians, I want to say 6, that it says that our body ain't ours. See, we forget that our
mm,
body ain't ours, so we don't want to defile it in the way because we got Christ connected to us. So we want to feel it healthy so we can go out and do the work that we need to do because he said in Ephesians 2:10 that we are a masterpiece. We
mm,
are workmanship. And that he's already had plans for us way before.
mm,
But we can't do that if we're constantly defiling our body. We're not healthy. Our mindset ain't thought right. We're not really aligning it with God and stuff. So I think this is important, and I really think that it's good that first and foremost the comeback show is showing you and showing your vulnerability and showing that heck, all of us. Like I don't know if you heard, did a video and showed my vulnerability. But I was so mad at myself about the pandemic. I had let myself gain weight and I
mm,
was dealing with the divorce and stuff
mm,
like that. But now I think I'm down like 15, 16 pounds, trying to get myself back together too.
mm,
And it's a struggle because some days I'm like, look, man, I need my cheesecake, macaroni cheese pizza, because I'm a cheesecake person, oatmeal cookie, and I don't have no quarrels about it. I'll tell you the truth.
yeah,
But either I'm going to eat this all day or focus on what the main purpose. Now that I've tried to use my body to glorify God, when I do it, I get convicted in a way that, okay, I can do it in moderation, but when I see myself, I'm
yeah,
like, hold on, man. Now, how does that glorify God? Because now I'm starting to be gluttony. You know
mm,
what I mean? And I need to change that. It may sound extreme, but whatever you find that works to keep you in alignment, that's what you got to do.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And so, I don't know if this will be a checkpoint for me. You know what I'm saying? Do I need to go weigh myself and send you some photos or whatever? You know what I mean? I don't
I
know.
would say, I would say, I would say, allow yourself to what's today, Tuesday. I would say, give yourself uh, another few days just to kind of clear your mind, and so you could sit and think about things, rejuvenate your mind, and then Friday weigh in. Friday weigh in, do you check just kind of see where you at,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of say, okay, now I'm rejuvenated, been a week or two. Let me go ahead and get started and get your mind now because now you can start allowing your mind to be wrapped around it. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like when you study the word and you'll sit in a quiet place so you can wrap your mind around things where you want to kind of let your mind rejuvenate so you can wrap your mind around things and begin to deciphering what plan and how you're going to do and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so, because I know you were changing up the routines for me, like sporadically. I don't know how often that was in regards to like season, whatever. But I don't know if it's that time again as well. But I would say it. No matter what it was, it's like every time I would come back and do it on the day of, the warm-up part would be the part where that I'd be like,
that's the whole part to get
to the actual workout.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole point, to get your heart rate up and to get your body warm, to get you. So now that your heart rate is up and you go into the workout, your blood is already flowing. You know what I mean? You're already going.
To get to the actual workout, like, seemed like those would kind of breeze by, but then like it would be the warm up part that'd be like, oh, okay, all right, let me get some water. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But so that's why they have an issue with doing this. I know I've been doing the same. Whatever you had just last put me on, I've been doing that for a while since the last time we talked about it. So I didn't know if it was time to do it something different or whatever the case was. But I mean, you know, we first start, however you want to do. You like let's figure it out. You know, what make it work, and yeah, let's see what we want to do with that. Calendar, look, we back. We back.
Yeah, we're back. You know, and I appreciate you, Miracle. Love you. Tell hubby I said what's up. Definitely, we'll talk way before next week, so we can set up what other things we can discuss and see what other, you know, things along, just not with us, but what things we can talk about for other people, issues or good things they may be doing to help, you know, encourage and empower people as well.
Exactly. Well, I see we received a like, so I know there's one person watching live at the moment. But speaking of anybody that catches the replay or whatever the case is, comment below if you guys have any topics, anything you want to hear in regards to faith, fitness, and food. You know, where are you all at on your journeys? You know, if you guys don't know how about my journey, y'all can watch the whole accountability to hear and see like where I'm at and where, you know, where I started and everything like that. Even photos, y'all go see the fudge and everything. It was so funny, and I will tell you about the brunch now. I guess I'll let you go. But Miss Natasha Gordon Harvey says good morning. So thank you.
She's one of my clients, and she's my she's my partner, my head kitchen person and vice president of the meals part.
Okay. Listen, look, hello, good morning to you, Miss Natasha. Look, I'm looking forward to trying some of your meals. I'm all the way in Atlanta, Georgia, so I know I'm figuring it out, but I'm looking forward to trying them one day too. But yeah, anybody catching the replay, you know, let us know, you know, where you are in your journey. What kind of questions do you all have? You know, how can we make accountability something that can be beneficial for you all? You know, we want to hear all of that. So, you know, who's ready for the next gift of accountability? You know what I mean? Like, let us know all of that type of stuff. Yeah. And I'm gonna keep, you know, sharing and whatnot, and keep being transparent about my journey. Y'all holding me accountable, so I'm gonna do that, you know. And I appreciate you, Miss Leah. I really do.
Absolutely. So we'll be talking sometimes, so we can get this thing, and whatever, like she said, whatever questions, concerns, shoot them to her, and I'm gonna repost and tell everybody the same thing. Whatever issues, questions, put it in the community. You know, check us out, and that way, questions, concerns you have with you know, don't be afraid to shoot, because that's what we're here for. You know, that's what we're here for, to try to empower and help. Even though, you know, I know you say I'm a guru, but I don't know everything. But guess what? We can all figure it out together. You know, if I don't know it, I'm not ashamed to say I don't know. We can all figure it out together, and we come back with the answer. You know what I mean? As a team.
Sounds like a plan. Well, till next time, y'all. That's accountability.
All right, lady. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Talk to you. Bye bye.